consider myself to be a community builder, which is why I felt called to do this video. I pray that this video can help someone reframe their thought process around the way they interact and engage with people online, especially in the comment section when someone is sharing their experience that may look totally different from yours. So let's start. I'm going to share some background information just to kind of paint the picture for you here, right? Stay with me. I am a social worker. I am a mental health professional. I am a mama. I am an awesome mama, a mom to an autistic 6-year-old child. But before all of that, I was just a little girl, a little black girl growing up in Harlem. This little black girl lost her mother at the age of 6 years old. And a year later, she lost her grandmother, who was her primary caregiver. So this little girl experienced a lot of grief at such a young age, but she learned how to navigate that grief. And she used that grief for good. Like she said, you know what? When I grow up, I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to serve people in a way that can help them live healthy lives. That little black girl grew up to become a social worker. And what is a social worker? A social worker is someone who helps people, helps individuals, families, communities, and connects them with resources to help them live healthier lives, right? And social workers don't just focus on the individual, like they focus on the whole. They focus on the whole family. They focus on the family dynamic because they know that things around that individual can also be impacted. Stay with me here. Stay with me. There's a method to why I'm sharing all of this. So with that being said, unbeknownst to me, I would become an autism mom, a mom to an autistic child. And that would propel me in my advocacy. Like as a social worker, I already know how to advocate, right? I do it for my clients on an everyday basis. But it showed me that within the community of, autism resources, there are not a lot of resources for said parent, like just myself. There could be resources to help my child with speech. There's resources to help my child with, life skills. But for the parent, how does a parent to an autistic child with higher support needs take care of themselves? There's not a lot for the parent in my experience. So I noticed that, people, what do? They look for community. They yearn for community. They yearn for people who get it, people who they can connect with. And most people do that online. They find, COVID has shown us, you can find community online. We were locked down for how many years? So people go online, they find community, they build community. Some people don't have people in close proximity to them who are dealing with similar things. They don't have people who could fully understand what they're going through with having elderly kids above the toddler age still in diapers and still trying to toilet train. So they find these communities online. They share their experiences. With sharing their experiences, people who may not be able to relate will frown their face up like, why are you doing this online? Why are you doing this online, right? Like, go to a therapist, go to this, whatever the case may be. For me, let's kind of rewind back. As I said earlier in this video, I learned how to navigate grief and different things at an early age, where the things that I've gone through, I don't think anyone should have experienced, but it built a certain resilience in me that I know how to navigate these things, right? Like I may not come online and cry. And it's no shade to anyone who does that because that may be their coping mechanism. But for me, I also consider myself a professional overcomer. And I'm not saying that to gloat, but the way my childhood experiences have shaped my perspective and allowed me to navigate through this world is in a totally different way. But everybody may not have that. And that's okay. So I'm sharing all of this to say your perspective and the way you may do things, like, it's not everyone else's perspective, right? So because a mom is sharing online, a mom who may not have community anywhere else, online may be her community. She may not have had a break in I don't know how long. It doesn't mean that she's a bad mom. It doesn't mean that, she shouldn't be on here crying. Understandably, that may not be your coping mechanism. That may not be your cup of tea. But commenting that instead of offering support or resources, what can that do for that mom? I've noticed a lot of people do that, and I would encourage you not to do that. If you are not going to be a part of the solution, don't encourage the problem. These people are already going through a tough time, right? And that's not just with autism moms. I think in general, we police people's grief or police the way people navigate certain experiences, and we need to stop. And I've been convicted of that myself in certain instances. Like, God has brought me through so much, and I've been able to navigate so much. And other people may not have those resources, coping skills, coping mechanisms, or even access, right? Access is everything. Access to information, access to resources, access to everything. I know this video is long, but I just have so many different points to make here, and I want you to follow me. It's very important, especially during the holiday season, because there are a lot of people on these apps that are struggling. I'm gonna make a part 2, like a continuation, because I have so much more to say, but this video is literally 6 minutes already. If you stayed to the end, God bless. If you didn't, that's okay as well, but I'll make a part 2. Thank you for listening.